to the Once a great army that conquered Europe would be humiliated, and a kingdom would turn into an empire through a war. Hello, welcome to the World at War podcast. My name is Marcus Vollweider, and today we'll be talking about the Franco-Prussian War, which had a kingdom and an empire fight for territory. The first country is the Second French Empire, led by Napoleon III, the cousin to the more famous Napoleon Bonaparte, and the Prussian kingdom, which was under the leadership of Wilhelm I and second in command Otto von Bismarck. With a few other exceptions of some German states, the scene was set for a war. It would start when France wanted to defend and strengthen its borders with Germany. But they asked Prussia if they could strengthen. Prussia denied because Otto von Bismarck had a plan. The plan was that not all of Germany was united under the Prussian banner. So, a war with France could potentially get all the other states to join Prussia. So, Otto von Bismarck denied France, which led them closer to war. But what really broke the stick on the camel's back, would be an alliance with Spain and the Prussian kingdom, which would lead to the Franco-Prussian War. It would start on July 2nd, 1870, in the Rhineland regions of Germany, where France would push into Germany and capture one of its cities successfully. But from the south, Prussia and another state would successfully capture another one, shocking Napoleon III. They quickly ran to reinforce their flanks, but Germany, with their artillery, successfully defeated Napoleon and his commanders on multiple strategic battles. And eventually, Napoleon's commanders were encircled by the Germans in a city. Napoleon knew he had to break them out, but at what point? So he led his commander with him up south to help and hopefully cut off the Germans to help his stuck commanders. But German cavalry successfully spotted Napoleon and alerted the commanders that were chasing him. They both met up north where Germany successfully surrounded Napoleon. Two armies now fully surrounded, their king and their commanders. Napoleon was depressed and could no longer fight. After constant bombardment by Prussian artillery, Napoleon III finally surrendered, with his men truly defeated. Napoleon came to aid, but this was not the end of the war. Only 2 months later, Napoleon's generals that were originally circled would also surrender. But this was not the end, like I said. Napoleon's government was overthrown and the Third French Republic was formed, saying that they would not give a French soil. But this was untrue. France was in a losing war and they had no military left. The Battle of Paris was about to begin. With the remaining troops that the French could barely muster up to defend the city, but Prussia was not going to let them a glorious battle. Instead, artillery bombardments was placed and the bombing of Paris begun. It would last a while, until eventually France and the Third Republic was surrendered. They surrendered to Prussia. The Prussian flag would fly high. But when the French fell, a new country arose. Prussia was no longer, and the United Germany, the Second Reich, or as most commonly known as the German Empire, would rise, which would create a new power balance in Europe. The total casualties of the Franco-Prussian War was 12,275 casualties. Most of them were civilian targets in France because they kept fighting even though Germany had captured some of their cities. And this is probably the end, but I have a small segment that I'm going to do through all these podcasts. It is called the Fun Facts section. So, fun fact for the first ever episode of this podcast is fun fact, the first ever live photo of battle was taken during the Franco-Prussian War. I hope you enjoy this and come tomorrow where I talk about the beginning of the Great War.